Moto dork.
Well, guess what I did? I fixed the jingly sound. Yes, I did. A couple days ago, I pulled my tank off, and it was surprisingly easy to do. I've never taken the tank off. I've done a lot of work elsewhere on the bike in the past, but I've never pulled off the tank. And you know, I looked at it as a bit of a daunting task, but I made sure I ran the gas almost out, so you know there wouldn't be much gas in the tank. It'd be easy to take off. And it's basically 3 hoses you remove, and one electrical connection for the fuel level sensor or gauge, and 2 bolts. That's it. Comes right off. So that was relatively easy. And yeah, hello, friend of Cole. So I pulled it off, took a long look, and there are a lot of hoses going every which way here. You know, attached to many different things on top of the valve cover. Some fairly large hoses with large hose clips securing them. And I found 2, I think there were at least 2 clips that were pushed over, and they were against other pieces of metal. Now, this engine is very buzzy, as they say. It vibrates at very high frequencies, which is different from some other bikes. You know, some other bikes are very smooth in how they operate. This one is not. It's very buzzy. And you know, you have that and a large metal clip that's touching another piece of metal, and you've got vibrations. You've got jingly sounds. So I repositioned all of the clips, and especially those 2, such that they weren't touching anything except the rubber of the hoses. Now, no more jingly sound. That's all it took. But of course, these clips I couldn't have seen without removing the tank. And now I'm thinking maybe I want to tackle the job of replacing the camshafts. This engine is a dual overhead cam. It's a 16 valve, and the camshafts are made with notoriously bad metal on these engines. I don't think I've ever heard of any of them failing, but they get pitted. The camshafts become pitted over time, and I know mine are, because I've had 2 different shops do valve adjustments for me, and both shops sent me photographs of the camshafts and of the pitting on the camshafts, and it's pretty bad. And you know, they both shops said, hey, you might want to think about replacing these camshafts. So there's a guy down in Florida who is a Concours owner, and he's also a Concours technician, repair guy in his spare time, I think. And he makes replacement camshafts out of much higher quality metal, and as I understand it, they're even cheaper than the standard OEM camshafts. So I'm seriously considering ordering a set from him and replacing them myself. All I gotta do is get the you know, the tank off, remove a part of the fairing at least, which I've done before. It's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's not difficult. I'll say that. It's just monotonous working with fairing, all that plastic. So, thinking about doing that. Plus, I do have a brand new timing chain that I want to also put in there. Replace the timing chain, replace the timing chain guides. I've got guides to go in there as well. I've already got those parts. So, you know, both shops I've talked to quoted me, you know, I think $2,000 to replace the camshafts. And I don't know if the entire bike is worth that much. Maybe $2,000 to $2,500. Maybe this bike is worth that much. Maybe. It is in exceptionally good condition. I'll say that. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about just ordering a couple of those things from that guy and doing it myself. Because I'm pretty sure I can. Pretty sure I can do that. So, I'm just glad I got the jingly sound taken care of. Wasn't difficult at all. So, yeah. Anyway, Spider-Man Far From Home is getting ready to come out, and I'm trying to decide whether or not they're trying to throw us for a loop in it, because some months ago they talked about, because everyone knows the villain, or so we thought he was the villain, was Mysterio, who is, you know, an old school classic Spider-Man foe from the 1960s Spider-Man comic books. And I'll be honest, when I was a kid, I always thought Mysterio was kind of silly looking with that big globe on his head. But I got to admit, seeing Jake Gyllenhaal in the outfit, flying around with the globe on his head, I actually kind of think it's cool looking. So, but I'm trying to figure out if they're throwing us for a loop, because at first they were telling us that Mysterio was the villain in this movie, and that he was maybe an actor or someone involved in theater, and all these creatures he's fighting are just illusions that he's projecting to make himself look like a hero. That was the official word for him, as I recall. Now, granted, that was before Avengers Endgame was released. And by the way, I'm going to probably say some things that can be considered spoilers for Endgame. I'm having a hard time believing there's anybody out there, at least anybody watching my videos, because that's not many people anyway, who haven't seen Endgame. But if you haven't, spoiler alert, you might want to stop watching. But anyway, that was before Endgame came out. And everyone knows in Endgame, they've pretty much introduced the multiverse into the MCU with the aspect of time travel and changing timelines, creating new timelines, creating diverted timelines, all this stuff. We've got the multiverse in the MCU now, which is exciting. I really like the idea of that. But now that Endgame is out, and now that we have a new trailer for Far From Home, Spider-Man Far From Home, now they're saying that Mysterio really is a hero from a different Earth in a different timeline, the multiverse. And these creatures he's fighting are actual creatures from this other dimension or other timeline. So, you know, now we have two different stories. And I don't know which one to believe. Maybe they're both true in some aspects. Maybe none of it's true. Who knows? I don't know. Now we're just going to have to wait and see. When does that movie come out? June, I think? Or July? Either June or July. So, got about a month and a half, 2 months to wait for it. Who knows? I've also read a fan theory. This is not canon. This is not official from Marvel or from Marvel Studios. It's a fan theory, but I like it, and I'm tending to agree with it. You know, at the beginning of Avengers Endgame, they're talking about the moment when Thanos used the gauntlet to wipe out half the life in the universe, and they're looking at that projection, which is a hologram of the Earth, and there's an image of the power surge from the gauntlet when he uses all of the Infinity Stones, and how they say it's the largest power surge ever recorded. And then of course we also know that the energy that's put off by the Infinity Stones is gamma ray energy. That's why Hulk was the one that was picked to snap everybody back into existence, because that's how he got his power, from an overload of gamma radiation. The fan theory states that this surge of energy, this surge of gamma radiation that just pretty much encompassed the Earth when the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet was used, is going to be the impetus for mutants. They're predicting, some fans are, that Marvel Studios will use that as a way of introducing mutants. That gamma radiation is what brings out the mutation. Like, all mutants, they already have this mutation, but their powers haven't manifested, and this radiation surge will cause the manifestation of their powers. And I like this fan theory a lot. I really like it, and I'm going with it. I'm going to go along with it, you know. But we'll see. I mean, if that's going to happen, that's a long way off, because I've seen some leaks of Phase 4 films. I'm not seeing really anything mutant-y. Who knows? Anyway, I think that's about all I want to say right now. Hey, but I do want to say one more thing. Hey, subscribe. Come on, just subscribe. You know you want to. I know you want to. What's it gonna hurt? Just subscribe. And if you subscribe, Hulk smash that bell. Like, smash the bejesus out of that bell. Please. I need you to subscribe. I'm begging. Alright. Later.